Hello, and welcome to Fools of a Took, an Australian Lord of the Rings podcast. I'm Michael.
I'm Nick.
And we're huge fans of the films, but never read the book, so we're going one chapter at a time and just learning as we go. Today, we're doing chapter 7 in the House of Tom Bombadil.
I concur.
I hope so.
I think that's the chapter I read.
If we read different chapters.
No, one day it's going to happen where I read a completely different chapter, and I reckon we get through maybe about 20 minutes of recording before we realize
we're on a different chapter.
Yeah, exactly.
We would have to have spent maybe 3 years apart for you to forget which chapter that you're up to.
Yeah, that's true.
Is how are you still listening to it by like the dramatic like reading? That's
Nah, I'm reading it old school, but then again, I'm sort of just like skimming through it. I read the book, like I read university readings, and then I
speed reading,
and then I get a summary from ChatGPT.
yeah. Okay.
Just get the key notes, the key points from there.
So you just ask Chat, hey, can you summarize this chapter in 200 words for me?
Yeah, I literally copy and paste the entire chapter, put it into the ChatGPT, and say summarize it. Summarize this for a meeting.
Do you specify who the meeting's for?
No.
Say it's a meeting. Okay.
Yeah, and it works. It gives me it gives me dot points.
Ooh. All right. Well, we'll see how they compare to my dot points that I write for every chapter. But we'll start with the recap.
Yeah.
The four hobbits are welcomed into the House of Tom Bombadil by the fair Lady Goldberry. With her enchanting voice and song, the hobbits forget their troubles, although they remind themselves in their dreams, and they make merry with the plentiful food, songs and tales shared by all, but mostly Tom, who seems to have lived longer than just about anyone. After what seemed like days of storytelling, Tom learns a little about Frodo's journey and simply asks for the ring. Frodo gives it to him with no trouble at all, and Tom Bombadil, laughing, puts on the ring and does not disappear. A disappointed Frodo puts on the ring himself to make sure it's his ring, and while he does disappear, old Tom sees him and calls him back to the group so they may discuss the path that they will take the following morning. This is like one of the biggest chapters that like moviegoers were disappointed was not included in the book.
Yeah.
In the film, sorry.
Yeah. Definitely, like it would have been good to have if Tom Bombadil actually featured more.
Like Peter Jackson didn't want. Like he had to shorten the film somehow. It couldn't be 5 hours long, I guess. But the extended cut is nearly 4 hours.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
Yeah, I suppose.
Like you're gonna be like 4 hours. That's ages. It's like longer than a minimum. That's longer than a minimum shift that you'd work anywhere. So if you're doing a shift, you may as well just jack it up from there. Keep it under 5 hours so you don't have to have an unpaid lunch break.
Could. But imagine having, like, just for the extended cut, imagine hiring someone to play a super exciting, super important part, and then you're not even in the theatrical cut at all, and you're only available to see on DVD.
Yeah. So old mate doesn't get a huge residual check.
But he would be able to say, I was Tom Bombadil.
Yeah.
Or the Lady Goldberry, for that matter.
Yeah, it's just something. Maybe like you cast it as someone that just loves the lore so much, is just stoked to play the character. Fucking someone like Colbert.
He would have loved it.
Colbert would do it for free.
Well, he was relatively unknown at the time. He was just someone who worked at the back at. Oh, I can't remember where he worked because there was like an interview with Viggo Mortensen. And it's like, oh, we got someone who works in the back in our team. His name's Stephen Colbert, and he's the biggest Tolkien fan I know.
Oh, I actually had no idea who he was until he had his talk show.
Until he had his own talk show. Yeah, because I was like, it just came up in my feed the other day, and it's just like I recorded him. I asked him to tell me what he knows about Aragorn.
Yep.
And then he just like named all the different names that Aragorn's known by, and Viggo's like, yep, that checks out. He sounds really good. We actually know who he is. We're making a cake for him.
Yeah.
It's like a cake version of all the members of the Fellowship, I think.
That's cool.
I was like,
I think like getting someone to play Tom Bombadil wouldn't be a big issue. I guess I only know about Tom Bombadil because of like the internet talking about him and how good of a character he is.
yeah.
But based on this chapter, I'm like, is this really all he is? He's he's like this really cool, and he's a character that kind of bucks the trend of everyone else as far as the ring's concerned. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of implied that he's just some big dog. You know, he's kind of a big deal, but does he really do all that much moving on into the story?
Exactly. And not only Jackson, like that was Peter Jackson's like reason for not including him. It's like he doesn't really contribute to the narrative. He doesn't really push the story along.
No.
And Tolkien actually said the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that he pointed out that like while he doesn't contribute to the narrative, he is not without function.
Oh, I'm sure he serves a greater function in the entire lore and everything.
Or just kind of like what his character kind of represents.
Yeah, but it's kind of like... he's just like a shit version of Santa Claus in Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Right?
You know, I've never actually seen Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
You haven't read it?
No, definitely not. Oh, man. All right, tangent. Christmas one year, I got a PSP.
Yep.
If you remember the size of the games came in, it was kind of like, smaller, thinner.
Yep.
But not too thin.
Okay.
Anyway, then we get to like my mum's extended family Christmas lunch. Mm-hmm. And because I'm a kid, I go under the tree and I see if there's any presents addressed to me.
Yep.
And there's like 7 individually wrapped presents about the size of a PSP game.
Right. Yep.
And I'm just thinking I just absolutely scored massive.
Yeah, okay.
Nana knew I was getting a PSP and she's bought me all these games. I'm like, I wasn't expecting such generosity, but I was just, as soon as I open these, I'm playing every single one of them.
Yeah.
It gets to present opening time and it's every single Chronicles of Narnia book. And I had zero interest in any of them. I was like, these are books? She got me books? Like, all I was reading at the time was, like, the Andy Griffiths books. Like, Just Kidding, The Day My Bum Went Psycho.
Oh, yeah, okay. Nothing is... well, I guess, like, as a kid growing up, especially in our generation, like, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is a bit highbrow.
Is it?
I don't know, that's how I perceived it anyway.
Yeah. Have you read it?
Not until I was an adult.
Yeah, okay. So, like, thinking when you were a kid, would it have interested you at all?
Nope.
No. Okay. Although I think it was, like, I suppose it's contributing to the time. As when The Hobbit was written, I think Tolkien's son thought it was like, yeah, this is good for, like, 5 to 9 year olds.
Yeah.
Like, really? Wow.
Yo, no way. Not a chance.
What was I reading when I was 5? Like, Spot. Like, Spot makes a birthday cake.
Okay. I remember the first book I got was this encyclopedia of sharks.
I'm sure you just got it to look at the pictures, right? Well, how old were you?
I think I got it when I was like 4.
Wow.
And then wasn't until like years on where I learned to read and actually read it and freaking loved it.
Yeah. As a kid in the classroom I work at, he's 3. He'll turn 4 in April. And yeah, he's all trains. And he just has like train encyclopedias and like train information books. And he'll open it and you just like go through the pages. But I think because his dad and mum must read it to him at home. So now he's telling me like about how steam engines work. And I never knew. And I'm dialed in. I'm listening to him. He's teaching me how
So you're learning
steam
shit.
trains work.
You're learning shit from this kid.
And the books have diagrams and see like what the inside of the boiler and like
Yeah.
I was pretty impressed.
It was a bit like, so I went to Japan and I remember going to the train
Yes.
and they had all that kind of stuff as well. But obviously it's in Japanese, so I couldn't understand shit of what was on the plaques. But they had these interactive displays where you could see how shit works, like the steam engines,
Cool.
all that kind of stuff. They had a cross section of a diesel engine, and you could see it like work. Like you just press the button, and then the diesel engine will kick in and start doing its thing.
Wow.
It's fucking cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and that was like the most I ever felt dialed into trains. Previously, I had no interest.
Shall we get back onto
Oh yeah, fuck. What were we talking
on topic?
about? What the fuck were we on about? Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe.
Yeah.
Tom Bombadil
Is Santa Claus.
it was like, yeah, Santa Claus and Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe. Santa Claus just rocks up. Everyone's like, ooh, it's Santa Claus. Gives some presents and he fucks off and you never see him again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tom Bombadil's the same, except he doesn't give any gifts. He just houses them for a night and then buggers off.
Yeah. Tells stories. Lots of stories.
Yeah.
As Tolkien writes it, he only just talks about what Tom talks about. So, like, he's talking for ages and ages and ages, and he just gives a brief summary on what he mentioned.
Yeah. So the vibe I'm getting is like Tom Bombadil is just this old, senile person who's got a plethora of stories and just reliving his glory days.
He's jolly and hearty and
Yeah.
like, athletic enough to.
Okay, a war vet can be jolly and happy and still tell you stories about their best mates getting their leg blown off in the Vietnam War.
I didn't get the sense of. Got the sense of like long lived, but I didn't get the sense of like being old.
Yeah.
Or like,
Actually,
like
no,
what we
I
consider
got more
old.
the sense of being long-winded.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Honestly, he's like Tom Bombadil is just like you as a person when it comes to telling a story.
I like to give all the information. I think it can be important to a story. It explains why I like Tolkien so much.
Yeah, exactly. And explains why I'm putting Tolkien into ChatGPT to summarize it.
Yeah. Okay. In that respect, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
All right. What's your impression of Goldberry?
I kind of imagine her as like motherly, like motherly, accommodating, and all that stuff, but a MILF. Right? Like she's just got this allure, and she's kind of you don't really know her and her vibe, but you superficially, really, really sweet, caring, and almost beguiling.
She is daughter of the river. Is how she's introduced. And I think Tom said he found her in the river in a song, and she seems to be able to do a rain dance or a rain song and bring the rain.
He found someone that does a rain dance in the woods, and he's someone that's been around for a long time, probably part of society. And so he's going, oh, I found you. I'm going to keep you now.
The Society of Nature, because he's just only looking after like the forest really.
Yeah.
Like he knows the forest like the back of his hand, and you know, like even the trees, like Old Man Willow, and like, oh, he's been around a long time, and he's wise, but he's getting old.
Yeah.
So I can just tell him what's what, and he'll fall in line if he starts getting grumpy. But
yeah. Like he is definitely a big dog. I'm just like Goldberry. I'm just like, nah. I just reckon that she's a minx.
I mean, both of them are just super, I guess, like, they just do things. Like, just around the house, like, hobbits will just be doing their thing, and all of a sudden, bam, dinner will be ready, or breakfast is already set up by the time they wake up. So I think they're very accommodating, very, like, their hospitality is next level.
Yeah, quite hospitable. They're the best B&B hosts.
Superhost.
Superhost, yeah.
Yeah,
They'd be super hosts
they would
for the forest.
absolutely be superhosts. Would you stay there for a night?
Yeah.
Yeah. How much do you reckon it'd cost?
I reckon they wouldn't charge you.
They wouldn't.
Yeah. They would probably make their revenue elsewhere.
What's their currency?
I think for them, they want to get you to stay there for word of mouth. So you're working as an envoy of marketing. They're outsourcing their marketing, and they're just happy to do that because they're going to be accommodating and looking after themselves anyway. They go, oh, these people coming in, cool. We'll just let them stay. They'll pass on word. They'll get more people coming in.
Yeah.
And then because of that, the trickle down effects of people's patronage means that parts of the forest will get interactions. You get people walking the path to their house, but mind you, there will be some people that walk there that will die and be consumed by the forest, but that's also, that's fuel. That's beneficial for the forest.
Yes.
So you got people that are coming in that can be, the ones that survive can give a good review. The ones that don't just become fertilizer for the forest. That's their revenue. Because ultimately, like Tom Bombadil's all about the forest and she's all about the water. Like the forest is happy. They produce whatever they need to. And if someone, dies along the way, floats down the river, there you go. Goldberry's happy.
And the river feeds the forest as well.
Exactly. So, this synergistic relationship.
Everyone's happy.
Everyone's happy. And
the
so
circle of life.
Yeah, exactly. For them, it's inconsequential whether they have currency.
Uh-huh.
Their revenue is the people.
So whether they're happy or they're dead,
Yep.
that's always good for Tom and Goldberry.
Yep. It's a win-win.
That's win-win. Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent business model.
Yeah, exactly.
If that's all you care about.
Yeah.
Because, seems to not really care for gold or... doing a little research, if you remember what that means, it was... people would write into Tolkien and say, because he's so powerful and just seems to be kind of all-knowing, is he some kind of allegory for a higher power or a god? And Tolkien just hated that. No, he's not God. If I did want to make an allegory for God, then I wouldn't have given him such a ridiculous name.
And that was the thing I've seen. Tom Bombadil is so aware, omnipresent, that he's essentially a god.
Yeah.
But he's got all of that potential to fit the bill.
Yes.
But he's got no motivation.
Right.
His Experiment 625 from Lilo and Stitch. All of the strength and power of Stitch, but just no drive to do any of that, just to make sandwiches.
Uh-huh.
That's Tom Bombadil. He's got no drive for a managerial role, and so he's happy being the janitor.
Okay, so because Tom's motivation is only just the land and just loving and caring for it, he has no interest in power, which is, I guess, if he is a deity, or I think in the Tolkien universe, it's a Maya or Valor. Everything, what the rest of them are concerned with is just not in Tom's mind. So in that sense, it only makes sense that the ring has no effect on him.
Yeah.
Because I guess the ring would just feed off people's desire for power and would use that to corrupt them and do all sorts.
And I think that's the thing. Being a god is all about power. Either utilizing the power that you have for the benefit or whatever, or for your own good. But also the thirst for power is sort of the thing that separates you from being good, or being a benevolent god or a malevolent god.
Yeah. So
he has neither.
Exactly.
He has no thirst, no desire. He probably has power, but he's just is what it is.
I hear when Goldberry was making the rain, he just waved his arm, wave the rain off of him.
Yeah.
So essentially he can also has some control of the elements as well.
Yeah. So I don't think he's actually a god. If anything, he was just a spectator for gods doing their thing.
A really long-lived spectator.
Yeah.
It's like renouncing power has like prolonged his life. That can deteriorate a person if they're always like striving to get to the next level up. But if you're just happy where you are, low stress levels prolong life, right?
Yeah, I think that's literally it. And the ring having no effect on him, I think it's just the ring wasn't designed to account for his type of people. It's not something where he's overly powerful or this lack of power. It's just the ring just doesn't have compatible, like the software in the ring did not account for his type of person.
But yeah, it absolutely makes sense now. Like he's lived a really long time. Like if he said he saw the elves march westward, and in the research that was like 3,000 years ago. No, longer than that.
Yeah.
So like before, and he saw like the darkness in the sky before the Dark Lord came. And that's talking about the original Dark Lord.
Voldemort?
No.
Morgoth.
Yes. Well done. So, like, if he's been around long enough, like, before the hobbits came, before the men came, like I think they came with, like, a rising of the sun. I think it was, like, the event is known as. Like, so he's just been around for so long, but, yeah, he's just never had that. He's just been his own person.
Yeah. He was probably around the creation.
He very well could have been there for the creation.
Just saw day one. Oh, there's light.
Yes. All right, yeah, I can live with this.
Yeah.
So, like, as long as there is light, that's where Tom can thrive.
Actually, okay, talking about films and Tom Bombadil,
Yes.
don't put him into another film. Don't put him into the original trilogy or the Hobbits. Start a new series. All of the events in the previous trilogies from the perspective of Tom Bombadil as the ultimate spectator. It's like Lion King 1.5, where you see Lion King through the perspective of Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah, okay. But there would be only so much that he would have seen. Like, if he's just keeping to himself, then, like, things would just be happening around him. Would he be paying attention?
I reckon he's not oblivious to things. Like, he gets a 20 on perception check, right?
Yes.
But he has no, like, motivation to act on it.
No.
He's just like, oh, that happened. It's like scrolling on TikTok. Oh, that happened.
Like a 0 on initiative.
Exactly. 0 on initiative, 20 on perception. And so he's just there. So he's probably aware of everything that's happened in the trilogy. Everything to do with the Fellowship. He's like, oh, that's cool. Or not even that. It's just like, oh, Frodo's now doing, he's now made to Rivendell. Okay. And it's like he'll be like
Back to the garden.
Yeah, he's just tending to his garden. He's like, oh, okay, Frodo's there now. Ooh, this looks good. I wonder what else I need to work on. Oh, now they're going this way. Oh, yeah. And it's just like a little like thing in the back of his mind.
I think other people know he exists. As he must have, like, because he said he got word that Frodo was coming, or like heard about, like, that someone was approaching.
He probably had trees bitching and moaning to him about these 3 fuckwits, or 3 or 4 fuckwits, meandering through the woods, stepping on their toes.
Could have been. I was thinking it could have been the elves that they met in the woods like a few chapters ago. Gildor. I think it was Gildor.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you don't got me. Like if those elves that they met, if they've lived long enough, like they'd have some idea of who Tom Bombadil is. Like if you travel enough.
So you reckon they're the gossip train?
I think Tom catches gossip. He knows who Farmer Maggot is. He's mentioned as like, yeah, I know Farmer Maggot. Like he's well grounded. Like he's wiser than he seems, and so yeah, I think they were put together in a poem. I can't remember, like some time ago.
Okay, but no, I actually reckon like Tom actually knows everything that's happening. Just does not give a shit to actually do anything because he knows it's inconsequential. Any actions he take aren't going to have any real benefit. Whatever is going to happen will happen.
Yeah.
In fact, he's probably like a 5th dimensional being where he can see the entire timeline and potential timelines.
Maybe.
but he just doesn't have any anxiety or neuroticism about it. He just accepts it and goes, "This is what the end game is. I'm just going to let it happen."
But wouldn't he have motivation for Sauron to fail?
If Sauron succeeds or Sauron fails, it doesn't really affect Tom's lifestyle.
Because if Sauron succeeds, like the world falls into darkness, the world kind of like becomes, kind of like how Isengard becomes and how like what Mordor is like. And it's like there's no light, there's no green, everything's industrial. Like, it doesn't seem that's the kind of world that Tom would.
So he does.
thrive
Okay,
in.
so instead of having trees as friends, he's gonna have mushrooms as friends and like fungus and molds.
I don't know if he'd stick around for that.
You reckon? So you reckon like if Sauron succeeds, that's when Tom Bombadil will come in beast mode,
If he had such a thing.
or it actually is inconsequential. He's just like, oh okay, darkness, yeah, no stress, jog on, pick it up, put it down.
I'd like to think so, but I don't. I think you'd just leave.
I would love to be
like,
that level.
Go westward, like get on a boat. Like, all right, yeah, I'm leaving with the elves.
I would just love to be that level of pacifist and just go, yep, is what it is, and just improvise with what you got.
Yeah, to have someone that impartial. But even though there's this very clear story of like good and evil happening around you, but to Tom, it doesn't matter.
they're not good. Yeah, to him, they're not good or evil.
There's
just
two opposing forces.
they have diametrically opposed views. But he does, and he knows they're going to fight and debate. But he's just like, I don't care. Whoever wins is the one that's more right than the other.
Is he the most true neutral
Yeah,
character?
yeah, 100%. And he can do things that would ultimately benefit him,
Yeah.
but he doesn't.
No, not really. But he helps the hobbits. Like he's just being nice.
Yeah, or he's just like doing this thing,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, you're here? Well, you may as well come." Well, then again, it's not like he ushers them and goes, "Come, come, 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 come."
Yeah. So it was at the end of the last chapter. He
Yeah.
just like, yeah, come on, and then he hops along and doesn't realize that he's almost leaving them behind. because
Exactly.
The hobbits are so
Yeah.
much slower than he is.
Exactly, because like if he actually went out of his way and guided them and said, "Come on, just come to my place," then that's lawful.
Yes. Yeah. And like good, being hospitable and
Yeah.
or like caring for people and
But he has actually done nothing to help guide them to where they need to go. He's just wandered off. That's that he's just been truly neutral.
he did at the very end of the chapter. He did talk about it's like, all right, we should talk about how you're going to get around the Barrow Downs.
But it's probably because he knows that they have to go, or he knows that they want to know.
Yeah, Frodo did tell him his story, and it's like, okay, you're being chased by buck riders. You got to get this ring somewhere. All right, sure.
And he's probably recognizing, oh, this must be very difficult for you. I'm going to ease that difficulty.
Yeah.
But if they didn't voice any, he probably wouldn't say anything.
No. Probably
Yeah.
wouldn't have. Okay. Such an interesting character.
Yeah, it's just like a broke-ass magic 8-ball.
Like, he is. Like, when Frodo asks Goldberry, it's like, who is Tom Bombadil? Pretty much what everyone asks every time they read the chapter. And Goldberry's just like, he is. Which, again, like, I guess, like, again, points to, like, that I am, therefore I am, like, kind of thing. Like a god would say. Like, a very godlike thing to refer to.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, yeah, I think that just, like, got people's heads going even more on, like, oh, like, he is. Like, if it was, like, a capital H.
I don't think he's that complex.
No.
He's,
And then again, like, I guess, like, Tolkien intentionally left him kind of unexplained. An enigma.
yeah.
I was like, you don't have to know who he is. I don't even know if I know who he is.
Yeah.
But he's here.
Actually, he, as far as the plot point goes, he's like the group of people from Avatar: The Last Airbender singing Secret Tunnel. Him and Goldberry are the equivalent to that.
Just singing songs.
Yes.
Having a great time. And they just happen to help, like,
The protagonists. They held the protagonist,
gang,
yeah.
The gang are in trouble. They're trying to get around the mountain, over the mountain.
But they're just none the wiser about everything else. They don't care about anything else.
True neutral people that are just traveling.
Exactly.
All right, I like that. I like that's a good one. Each of the hobbits had dreams the first night they slept there.
Oh yeah.
And I thought it was a bit interesting what the dreams were, because Frodo's dream is of Gandalf escaping from Saruman on an eagle, and then wakes up to the sound of like galloping hooves and the Black Riders. So I don't know, is Frodo like able to, I don't know, is the ring's power like enabling Frodo to see things that are really happening?
Is it happening or is it
has happened?
Or is it going to happen?
Yeah. Is the ring giving Frodo foresight in his dreams?
I don't
Because
think...
this is happening, I don't know, it's happening around the same time, maybe? It's possible.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like a... actually don't think it's the ring, though.
It's just like a weird coincidence of just like this kind of vision that's coming to Frodo.
No. They all had weird, fucked up dreams.
Yeah.
That are kind of rooted in reality.
Yeah.
It's just secret tunnel people, like, you know, pumping psychedelics into the air.
Well, I mean, like, Merry and Pippin's dreams make total sense because there's just like their fears
Just a
kind of
nightmare.
being reincarnated. Yeah. Coming back as a nightmare in the same like hours later.
Yeah, well, also, Sam also had a really cooked one as well.
He didn't, like, slept happily.
No, didn't he?
He slept like a log.
Oh, yeah, I did too. Never mind.
Sam slept through the night in deep content.
Okay.
If logs are contented. What does that say about Sam?
No thoughts, head empty.
But if he's got, I don't know if he's, like, does that say that he's not scared of anything? Like nothing happened to him that he's scared of?
Yeah, or he has
he nearly lost his best friends to Old Man Willow.
Yeah, or he just has no immediate concerns.
He just felt super safe
Yeah.
in the House of Bombadil.
Yeah, he just felt secure. Like, he's a gardener. He's got the ultimate gardener looking after him. He's
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah, okay, he's in Dreamworld.
Yeah.
Literally. Just slept contentedly.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, okay. And yeah, Merry and Pippin, like Pippin dreamt that he's still trapped inside of Old Man Willow. Mm-hmm. I don't know, he heard voices. Just kind of saying like, yeah, it's okay, like nothing bad's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And pretty much the same thing happened to Merry. He stood up. Merry stood up because he thought that water was coming in through the walls.
Yeah.
And through the cracks in the doors, and he thought everyone was going to drown because everyone's sleeping on the floor. So he stood up and then like touched the floor to make sure there was no water on it, and it's all flagstone. It's like, oh, okay.
Maybe it's just like, perhaps it's like the dreams that they're having is just like memories.
Yeah.
Memories they're having. And I guess, okay, maybe the ring is a contributing factor for Frodo. That it's not premonition or vision. It's a memory, but it's not his memory.
Ooh. That's still some kind of like supernatural sensation. It's like to be able to see someone else's memory or perspective on something.
Yeah. But I guess it's the...
Or it wasn't even their perspective. Like I think his dream was like floating above the tower.
The ring's perspective.
Maybe. Is he seeing what the ring wants him to see? Like Gandalf wasn't, like someone was in trouble on this tower but he's been saved by an eagle.
Why would the ring want him to see that?
I don't know.
The ring would not want him to see that.
It's like, Frodo doesn't realize that it's Gandalf that's up there. A human figure, white hair, I think. Jumps off, there's an eagle. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Frodo would have known about eagles from Bilbo's journey. Mm-hmm. But I was like, oh, eagle. And then, oh, Black Riders, I'm awake.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe the Black Riders is just like his memories flooding in to break it up.
Definitely.
that's definitely his. But I guess that previous part, seeing Gandalf, I reckon it's like a ring related thing.
Yeah, I do feel like the ring has some part to play in it.
But I reckon it's maybe the ring or Sauron's perspective. Because
Sauron's like got the all-seeing eye, and he's probably, I'd say he's got some investment in seeing how this kind of conflict between Gandalf and Saruman goes.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe the ring's showing him Sauron's vision.
Yes. Or seeing what Sauron sees, and that's what Frodo sees because he's carrying that piece of Sauron.
Yeah. Okay. I'd buy that. I'm okay with that.
So I reckon, like, if any of the other hobbits had it, they'd see that interspersed with either being the fear of drowning or being crushed by a tree.
Yeah. But all right, last thing is something that I feel like is really glossed over because I'm pretty sure it's the first time it happens that Frodo puts the ring on.
This is the first time he's put the ring on.
I think so. And it was just out of pettiness.
To see whether it's broken?
Yeah. Or if it's really his ring, like if Tom just did a magic trick and just gave him a fake one. He's like disappointed that it had no effect on Tom. It's like, oh, wait, I mustn't have given him, like he mustn't have been playing with my ring.
Yeah.
Did he give me back my ring? Wait, this is still the ring, right? This is still like the thing that Gandalf is so worried and concerned about. Like when I gave it to Gandalf, like the ring didn't want to, like the ring felt heavier. I was reluctant to give it to Gandalf, and Gandalf is talking about how dangerous it can be. Never put it on, Frodo. And then when Tom asks for it, to Frodo's own astonishment, just gives it to him willy-nilly, without question, as if it didn't weigh anything. Tom has a laugh, plays with it, puts it on, takes it off. There you go.
Yeah, okay. So it wasn't really built up anyway, like in comparison to like the movies.
No, definitely not. Well, yeah, I guess like I'm trying to remember if we've read about any other like moments of temptation.
This is the first time in the story that the ring's actually used.
Is that by Frodo?
Well, in Frodo's account.
Yes.
That's the first time it's been used. So I didn't actually realize that.
Yeah, because it feels kind of glossed over. And so he put the ring on, and yeah, sure enough, he's disappeared. Mary can't see him. And I was like, okay. And then he starts like heading for the door. And then all of a sudden Tom's like, hey, come on back here. Like, these eyes aren't that blind.
Yep.
So now this is like a whole other like branch of power that Tom has. Like he can see people that are supposedly transported into like the spirit realm.
Yeah, well, it's only like the baddies that can see them, right?
Yes.
Right, like the truly...
Or the Nazgul, who are kind of like the living dead.
Yeah, Nazgul and Sauron
can
see them. Orcs can't see them.
No.
Right? So orcs, you could argue that orcs aren't truly evil.
Then, yeah, I guess like they're
Chaotic
tortured,
neutral.
mutilated, but not in the spirit, like, yeah, not... they're not like the living dead spirit world.
Or it's not their goals for the whole campaign is not truly their goals. They're just along for the ride.
Yes.
Because they've been promised things that they desire. They're chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
Right?
Orcs, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but Tom, he is neither good. Mm-hmm. Neither good. But I guess you could, because he can see them, he could be implied to be evil. But because he's truly neutral, he gets the benefits of both.
Yes. Yeah.
He is not a player in the whole campaign.
Right.
And so he can see both.
Again, like
both
the ultimate
aspects.
spectator. Like he can just see everything.
He sees everything.
Yep, nat 20 on perception.
Yep.
He can see the invisible.
Exactly, yeah.
Man, yeah, this guy's crazy. And there'll still be a little bit of Tom in the next chapter as they say goodbye to him, but yeah.
But then that's it,
and
right?
then I imagine that'll just be it.
Yeah.
Like they'll be on their merry way and then that'll be all. We'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, I'm Michael.
I'm Nick.
And we are
Fools of a
Took. Bye.
Bye.
What's that? This, my friend, is a pint. It comes in pints.
Oh,
I'm getting one.
A fool. But an honest fool, he remains.